Whilst we prepare for our star guests, just like to say once again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming along tonight. Hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the programme. We've had a good little start, thanks to our youngsters. And just to remind you, in case, for the newcomers especially, we've got some raffle tickets on sale with the door, and the top prize is a Premier snare drum. And there's a head and a cymbal cleaner and sticks and a few other things as well. So give generously, boys. You can't take it with you, so let me send it on ahead. Oh, one other thing, most important. When Gail and Terry are doing their clinic and you want to shout out your questions, don't. Put them on a sheet of paper which you got down there, some little leaflets. Any questions you want to ask, jot them down on the leaflet and please hand them to me, okay? I'm sure they've all got plenty of questions you want to ask, just jot them down on the leaflets I've got down by the door there, give them to me and I will ask them of Gail and Terry, okay? Any sort of questions, anything on technique or their love life, anything. Well, nearly anything. As a poem. I've been playing now since Christmas. I got one of them Linko kits. Well, I did have for at least 2 days, but now it's all in bits. Of course, it's not that I play too heavy. I'm only a juvenile, but to look at the kit, you think it had been hit by an Iraqi Scud missile. I had a lesson from Martin Webber, Swansea 462670, and one from Ivanhoe, Swansea 653998. But when they saw me hammer those heads, they told me where to go. I'd broken A's, I'd broken B's, made sawdust out of C's and D's, so what I need are bigger sticks, ones that can cope with my muscular licks. I bet you can't supply me, Derek, but at least please do advise. I want to hit him like Philip John. We'll try these buggers for size. With apologies to Philip John, he does not use these size. Twice these size. There we are. That's from Mr. A. Wally. Thank you, Mr. Wally. The young bass player, well, he was young when he first started with me, and I remember him starting with me in my band in the Redcliffe Hotel down in Caswell in the late 50s, early 60s, I think. And he's now become one of Wales' greatest rock bass players, ladies and gentlemen. Will you welcome Mr. Di Bell? Di Bell. David Bell. What? You're doing that at the end? He's doing it at the end. Okay, I thought they were coming on with you now. Okay, right. I got another letter here. It says, Dear Mr. Morgan, that's a good start. Question, is it true that Terry Williams was just lucky? And I must answer, yes. He was lucky to be able to practice constantly. He was lucky to be able to buy a kit. He was lucky to join a band who'd heard him practicing. He was lucky to go to London on a shoestring and be prepared to starve. He was lucky that the musicians who hung around him were so talented that they seemed to be having the same luck as him. And he found that the more he practiced, the more work, the more travel, the more lucky he got. So he's lucky to be here tonight, and to tell us how lucky he is to be here tonight, will you welcome the great, luckiest drummer in Wales, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terry Williams. Terry Williams. Terry Williams and I have two things in common. First of all, of course, he's a drummer and I'm a drummer. He's in Dire Straits and...
What?
That's what you call money for nothing, Terry?
You call money for nothing.
Okay. Terry Williams, take it over, Terry.
Right. What we want to do tonight is just some questions, and hopefully I can answer them. Is anything you want to know?
What's Bob Dylan really like?
He's alright. So that's basically what we're doing here. If you want to hear anything, ask Derek. If you want to see anything, just ask us. And that's basically what we're going to do, aren't you, Derek?
Yes, exactly. I think I've got some here for you.
Oh, by the way, the ladies from Morrison Hospital, we have to apologise. Tina Turner, Ray Charles, and Dire Straits couldn't turn up tonight.
Believe it or not, they thought they were here. All for £2 in the POU club.
They really did. Ray Charles was okay, it was the Straits for the one. Go on then. No, I don't know who's supposed to go.
Terry!
Yeah.
There's one here from...
Sorry, while we wait, can you play some shuffles?
Which kind of shuffles would you like?
That
Right.
that trip?
There are a couple of
That sounds like a
shuffles
shuffle.
which I play, and they're Chicago shuffles. I've got to try and think of them now. They're basically just on fours, but there's one which is fours and twos and fours and twos. I'll do the fours to start with, then I'll do the twos, and then I'll do a walking one. Okay? This is the basic Chicago shuffle. Then it's the 4-2 shuffle, which is just a cymbal and snare drum, which is on the fours on the bass drum.
I got one here for you, Terry, to answer from Mr. Tony Whitaker, who asks, I assume for you or Gail, did you find any great difference in the way in which drumming is taught in America as opposed to Britain?
I've never been taught. Hang on, I'm not on. Well done, Pete. I've never been taught in America, but there is a difference in America because in the schools there, they teach drumming and rudiments from day one, which you don't get in this country. They don't teach you drumming. They might give you a triangle or something, with all of that, a tambourine. But in America, they do teach you the rudiments and everything about drumming. Is that enough?
Yes, there's plenty. I've got another one here from Con. Well, you know who Con is, Mr. Con Atkin. Penland, circa 1974, he says here.
He's left-handed, you can't pinch anything off him.
Con Atkin from the Penland Club, and he asks, is there any chance of a shed builder of 25 years, of 25 years social club standing, learning to read? So, now he asks. So as to impress those robot drummers that the turn always turns up with. What books or tutorials could you recommend?
Beano? Econ? I don't read. I can't read a dot. I have tried. I asked Martin Webber, and I just can't. I can't get it together at all. But it might be a chance for you, come.
I've got another one here, Terry, which could apply to you and or Gail again. Of all the rudiments I've tried, I find the single stroke the most difficult. Can you make it easier for me, Mr. Tad Damlish?
No. No, I mean, it's just speed, really, isn't it? It's just what you can build up to. I don't go along with the idea of power building or muscles, or, as you might have noticed. It's just once you get them, once you get that speed, you can reach a certain speed, and that's about it, really. I can't help with that. You might be able to.
No, I can't either. I do find the single stroke the most difficult for myself. I'm putting the blame on a gammy left hand, but there we are. I've got another one here for you, Terry. Have you ever used double bass drums or pedals, and do you have any advice on either? Martin Barnett.
No, Martin. I used 2 bass drums once when I was with a Dream. And Dick Leonard told me to shut the up. Because as soon as I got on the kit, I was just like, which is very tempting to do. I'd like to get into them, actually, as soon as Derek gives me a pedal. But I have no advice on double pedals at all.
Any more questions from the floor? Come on, anyone? Anything?
You want to hear anything?
Okay. Yes, anything. Come on. Let's have it. As you're not writing them down, shut them out. I have got one here anyway, Terry. It says, I would like to Terry or Gail again, I would like to be an all-round drummer, sessions, shows, etc. What sort or sorts of music do I listen to in order of priority to get that sort of versatility?
I don't think there is a priority. It should be everything. When I first started, Derek's kit was the very first kit I ever played.
I'm still repairing it.
I can't follow it. But if you play like dance band or waltzes, there's a song on Brothers in Arms, which is a bossa nova. Now, if you don't know how to play a bossa nova, then you couldn't have played that song. So really, everything and anything. Do you agree there?
Yes.
Really, everything. Unless you want to be a certain style of drumming.
Yeah, well, I think it just gets back to the basics. If you learn the rudiments, you'll play anything.
Yeah.
And your style will develop from that, and the music that you listen to will all come. You've only got to listen to a pipe band drummer to realise that. On one snare drum, they're quite mind-boggling. Robert.
Can you play some Latin?
Can I play Latin? I'll have a go. Not very well, mate. What part of Latin America that comes from, I have no idea.
Thank you, Gonzalez Williams.
Manuel.
Terry,
Yeah.
you're being into where the
Oh, it's always one, isn't it?
Sharon wants to know if he could play the intro to Money for Nothing. He can. I ain't got any more for you, Terry. No, it's all from the floor now, Terry.
Terry, what's the worst gig you ever did?
No. This one.
Because it's the first time he's going to be paid off from a charity.
No, congas, you mean?
And all the small ones?
No, bongos, no. No, I'm basically a straight tip man. Can't play those things at all. I tried.
What about the African one?
No.
No reggae.
Oh, no. The wrong colour. No, I can't play reggae. I mean, I can bluff a kind of blighty kind of reggae, but not like the real man. I wish I could, actually.
Terry, as a non-drummer, listening to all the drummers, like the thing that strikes me is the power with which you hit the drums. I remember an interview not played on television, and when they first picked you for the Straits, they liked the power that you gave into the drums. Now, is that strength, physical strength, or is it timing, and how important do you think it is?
I think it's panic. I don't know. I mean, when I was young, I spent a lot of time ill in bed, right? And so when I got out of, I was in a plaster cast and things for years, and when I got out, I just wanted to attack everything, every sport, every games, and I think that's what it was in groups. Plus, we didn't have monitors in the 60s. It was the first band I was in the Jets, and the commentary I was in the Jets. To get over those guys, you had to hit the drums really hard. And there were a lot of drums around at the time. Bob Adams, Keith Hodge, all very heavy, powerful drummers. To get over the volume of people like Brian Breeze and people and things. So I think that's really why I hit them so hard.
Was it strength or timing?
They're both, I hope. I don't know. I like that sharp crack. You know, just to be up the head of the beat. The bass drum just a little bit behind, but the snare just that little bit in front. Moves the band along.
It's important for guitarists to hear the snare.
Well, if they hear the snare drum, guitarists hear the snare drum moving along, they kind of, I think they tend to go, they might disagree with me, but they tend to go with it. And the bass player then, which I'd like to show a bit later on, is drums working with the bass player. It's that bass drum is there all the time, and the snare drum pushing the rest of the band. Right?
Why do you play remote drums?
Because they give them to me for nothing. Well, that's one reason.
Notice he said they give them. I didn't.
He didn't.
Nobody gives me. What was that?
I do a lot of sessions all around the world. If I don't sound like this, but if I go to New York or LA, Australia, I went to Japan just before Christmas, and I just phone Remo and they have a kit there waiting for me, and they're all exactly the same. they all sound, to me, they sound great. I really like the sound of them. When I was using other kits, and if I went to somewhere and they were renting a kit in, I won't mention any names, but they were all different. But the good thing about Reno were that they were all, you know, really, they all sounded the same. So that's handy-free. Sorry? The big Ludwig kit, yeah, which Nick Long nearly blew for me. Ludwig came to see me because I was talking to, I can never say his name, Carmen Apis, on a flight once. And I said I'd used Ludwig for years and years. So he put my name forward to Ludwig. And when I played Chicago, Bill Ludwig III turned up. And an extremely drunken Nick Lowe was going, what do you want to give him a kit for? And I was going, so they just asked me to design my own kit, and I totally went over the top. I mean, you just can't pick it up. It's just so big and so heavy. It's in a warehouse in London. You want to buy it? I'd use it maybe on a major tour, because then we've got loads of roadies to carry it. But I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it's huge. It's ridiculously big. Yeah, it's great looking kit. Sounds great, but it's an 8-ply shell, and it takes about 2 or 3 people just to throw it on. Totally over the top. He definitely wants to buy it. No?
Terry,
What do you?
who do you admire as one of the top drummers in the world?
Modesty forbids intervention.
Who are your mentors? Who do you
I don't have anyone.
nobody?
I like all kinds of drummers.